Well, it wasn't quite the landslide that Liz Truss might have hoped for. Indeed, in the polling in the run-up to the votes or during the ballot process, she was at 66, 65%, the kind of levels that Boris Johnson secured when he became Prime Minister in 2019. Not as good there for Liz Truss, by my rough calculation, coming in with about 57, 58% of the vote against 42.3% for Rishi Sunak. So his allies that said to me it would be closer are correct. But in terms of what she was saying, she promised that she will deal with the energy crisis. She thanked her supporters and she paid homage there to Boris Johnson, which led to a rather awkward moment where the crowd weren't sure whether to applaud or not. But look, in reality, this is a Prime Minister facing the toughest in-tray in over 4 decades, and that is going to bite tomorrow when she goes into Downing Street. And from a party management point of view, she might have been happier with a bit more cushion with the membership, because the party is deeply divided over how to handle the economic crisis, and she might have hoped for more support from the membership. But there's someone that has a view on that isn't me. Let me bring him in. It's Brandon Lewis. Brandon, the former Northern Ireland Secretary, could be the Justice Secretary tomorrow afternoon.
Well, we'll see what the Prime Minister decides. We've got a new Prime Minister to come into place tomorrow. I think as we said here this afternoon, we've seen actually our party take this process very seriously, challenge the candidates, great depth of talent in the party, and I think that does bode well for the future. And
Brandon Lewis, just in terms of the actual result, it was a bit tighter than perhaps the Liz Truss camp might have hoped for. Rishi Sunak's team said to me over the weekend they thought it would be a bit closer, and she didn't do as well as Boris Johnson in 2019, did she? Do you think it reflects the divisions in the party? I mean, what do you make of the result? A little bit disappointed?
No, it's a good result. I think it's not hugely different in percentage terms to roughly where Boris was last time, but actually I think
it is quite. It's about 8 percentage point different. Okay, that's quite a lot.
Yeah, it's in the high 50s percentage. I think it's a good result. It's a very clear majority. I think it's one of the things we needed to see, which is good. And I think it also reflects the sheer depth of talent. Exactly what Liz Truss was saying just a few moments ago. The depth of talent across our party. We were blessed with such great candidates, actually, right from the very beginning.
And Brandon, just in terms of the depth of talent of the party, is there going to be space for Rishi Sunak backers in the Liz Truss administration? We know the party, the parliamentary party, is very divided, the membership's clearly divided. Will she try and reach out to those that didn't back her in order to try and build party unity? You might not know, but what would you advise?
Well, we all want to see the party come back together. I think as the chairman said a short while ago, and as the new leader of our party has just said, the party needs to come back together. We are a big white tent. Again, it's one of the strengths of our party. I'm sure one of the things that our new leader will be working on with the team through today and into tomorrow is looking at how we make sure that all of the party is reflected across government. And that's one of the benefits of the Conservative Party. We have this wide tent that brings together so many views, but when we're focused and
But Boris Johnson didn't do that. He had an ideological cabinet in which he kept other views out. That's fair, isn't it? And that was part of the problem with the party, no?
Well, I think one of the challenges we saw through the end of the period of Boris Johnson wasn't so much about policy areas, but actually we were still working on delivering our manifesto, and I think it's right. We are focused on getting that manifesto delivered, and what people elected us to do is something we all committed to do in 2019.
And 2 more questions, because the thing that everyone actually watching this today cares about are their energy bills, which are predicted to go up to an average of, I can barely say it, £3,500 a year. It's like having another mortgage in October. Liz Truss, what's she going to do about it? I know you can't sketch out the details, but there is talk today about potentially freezing energy bills, billions of pounds, 100 billion plus of action to help families and businesses up and down the land. What can you tell me about the direction of travel if you can't give me the detail?
Sure, look, you're absolutely right. Of course, these things are market sensitive and I can't give the detail ahead of a fiscal event, as people call it, that we'll have very soon. What I can say is Liz, as a candidate and as outlined today in her speech, her acceptance speech as the new leader of the party, is very clear. She knows this is an issue. We see this in constituencies like mine in Great Yarmouth in Norfolk, where energy prices have been rising, oil-fired central heating has been rising. We want to make sure we're dealing with this. She has set out a general journey of travel on this to deal with the specific issues people are facing with the increased costs now, as well as the long-term issues of supply, and we'll see the outcome of that in the next week or so ahead.
Tens of billions of pounds?
Well, as I say, I'm not going to go into predictions about what will be in a fiscal event.
But in principle, she understands.
In principle, she gets it. She wants to deliver on this for people in a way that makes a material benefit.
If she doesn't meet the moment, do you acknowledge, if she does not meet the moment on this issue with the public, she is done for. It will set the tone of her premiership, and it will determine whether the public see her as a credible Prime Minister that hears them. That is fair, isn't it?
And that's why I think she is so determined to deliver for the public. She gets it, she wants to deliver on that, and I'm confident we'll see that in the week or so ahead.
Brandon, thank you so much for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you walk up Downing Street tomorrow afternoon into Cabinet. He's not saying a word on that, is he? Brandon Lewis there, he resigned, you remember, from Cabinet, from Boris Johnson's Cabinet. He then backed Nadhim Zahawi, the Chancellor, in his early leadership run, and then Brandon Lewis flipped very quickly to the Truss camp and is one of her key lieutenants. I expect him to get a pretty big cabinet job, perhaps, as I was saying, Justice Secretary. But look, you heard what he said there. Liz Truss hears it, and there will be serious action. Can't get ministers to be drawn on the details of that. As Brandon Lewis said, big changes in policy are market sensitive, but let's see if she does meet the moment. It's clear from her team that she understands the pressure.